Hi everyone, my name is Ashley with Clover Patch Knits, and if you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning back to my channel, welcome back to you as well. But if you are new here on this channel, I do talk about everything great and wonderful regarding knit and crochet. So that's like your new hobby, or you just want to learn about the wonderful world of these hobbies, I know that you'll love this channel. So on today's podcast episode, I was going to start off with sharing with you all some like sock patterns that I have found, because I'm going to start working on some socks. But before I do that, I have to like talk about what I'm wearing because I made it. So I'm wearing my Salty Air tee by Samantha Garn. This is such a beautiful design, and I believe I finished this tee like it was either July or August of last year, but I could be wrong. I may have finished it before then, but if I'll be honest with you all, I probably worn this tee, well, if I include today, I probably worn this tee about 5 times, and that's not enough. Like, that is a goal for me this year, is I'm going to be wearing this tee a lot more because it's so stunning. But I can tell you all why I have not worn this tee. For starters, because it's so delicate. Like, even when I put it on, I'm very careful how I put on my tee because I don't want to ruin it, because the pattern is super easy. But this like lace section right here, y'all, it was difficult for me personally because I was not paying attention when I was trying to work on it, and I hadn't worked on a pattern with lace in a very long time, and I also had not worked with a pattern that had like a chart. And I don't know why, when I started this tee, I did not think about that I may have to like concentrate a little bit more, just because I hadn't worked on the techniques that were required in this pattern in a very long time. So y'all, I was trying to watch a movie and TV shows while working on this. It didn't go well. I had to restart this section, this like lace section, so many times, and you all, I almost gave up because I was getting frustrated. I'm just like, I'm restarting this tee over and over again. I'm just so frustrated. But I told myself, I said, no, you are not going to give up. Like, you've been doing this, been working on this tee over and over again. You're not going to give up. You are going to finish this tee. And when I tell you, I'm so glad I did, because every time I put it on or I'll just look at the tee, it's so stunning. Like this, let me see, maybe if I can like scoot up so maybe y'all can see it, or I guess I can also like put up a picture, because I posted some pictures of this tee when I finished it on my Instagram, but also we'll try to put up a picture so y'all can see a little bit closer of the design. But it's so stunning. It just looks like leaves, and I don't know, I love it. So if you need like a beautiful tee design, definitely add this on your list, because it's not easy. Like, it was just difficult for me because, like I said, I wasn't concentrating while I was working on it, but it's super easy. And the great thing about like making a tee is you don't have to make long sleeves. Like, when I got done with my tee, I literally just have like this amount of sleeve and ribbing or cuff that I had to make, and I was done, and I got to have a new garment. So if you want a project that doesn't take you a long time, and you don't use a lot of yarn, because I think for this tee, if I can remember, I probably used about 3 balls of yarn. I have to look at my notes. I can't exactly remember how much yarn I use, but I do know I used the Sandness Garn. It's their Tynn linen yarn. I think it was in the color called Raspberry Cream. And so the yarn, it wasn't that much either. So it was pretty much an affordable project for me to make. I'm trying to think, do I want to make another one of these? No, I don't think so, because I know once I get done with some of my sweaters and other projects that I want to make, I do want to make myself another tee, because it was just so much fun. I think I have some other tee designs that I want to work on, but I love this. It's so gorgeous. So yeah, this year I need to wear this tee a lot more, because the yarn, and actually I was surprised. This is the first time I've ever used the Sandness Garn, but this was the first time I ever used that brand of yarn. But this is the first time that I ever found like a linen yarn that I really love. Like, this yarn has still held up, and this yarn is so breathable, and especially with me living in the South, like, I feel like I can still wear this tee in the summertime and be very comfortable. So love this pattern. If you are a beginner, you definitely can finish this tee as well. You just have to remember that you may have to concentrate a lot when you're working on the lace section, but it's beautiful and I love it. And now on to talking about socks, because in previous videos I've shared how like I want to start sock knitting. Actually, this year I was supposed to go to a sock knitting class, but I didn't get to make it because y'all, I got sick. And that made me so sad because I really wanted to go to that sock knitting class. And really, I didn't need to go to the sock knitting class. I kind of just wanted to go for the experience because there's many like YouTube videos on how to make socks. So I know I can make the socks without the class, but I still wanted to go, like I said, just for the experience. But last week I found, or not found rather, I bought 2 patterns. So at this point, I'm just kind of deciding like what pattern I want to choose to be the first pattern that I work on for the socks that I make. So the patterns that I bought last week, the first one is called the Mermaid Avenue sock. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes that I wrote down for this podcast episode. But the first pattern that I bought was the Mermaid Avenue socks by Summer Lee. And I believe Summer Lee is very popular for their sock patterns that they put out. And you use fingering weight for this pattern. I love this mermaid design, and like the pictures that the designer put up for the pattern, I love that blue color that they use in the socks. It's just so gorgeous. And I've seen like people when they make these socks, they either will use like the mermaid design on the whole like front part of the sock, or like sometimes they'll just do like half of the top part of their sock and use that mermaid design. So I love that people are able to kind of be versatile with how much they want that mermaid design to be in their sock. It's stunning. And then the next pattern that I bought is the Birthday Cake Socks by Conley Kinkley. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but you use fingering weight yarn for this pattern as well. And another thing I love about this sock is that you're using like a cable design, and that's also what excites me about this pattern because I've never worked on anything that had a cable design in it, and I have been wanting to step into like the cable world, but I just haven't found a pattern that I was like, oh, I love with a cable design. So I think this will be a really great pattern for me to kind of like get my feet wet with working on cable designs. But I am curious, I'm curious if you have worked with a cable design before. Is it easier to do cables in a larger circumference project, or would it be easier to do it on a project like socks or like a smaller circumference? Because I was wondering, I'm like, it's gonna be more challenging if I'm trying to do like the cable design in socks on like a smaller project, or maybe I should do a project that's a little bit larger when it comes to cables. So if you've done cables, let me know. That's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous about working on these socks, because I've never done cables before. But you all know, if you've watched the channel before, I like to step out of my comfort zone and find things that challenge me. So I think, because I feel like, well, I'm just going to show you all the yarn that I plan on using for my socks. It's the Cascade. I think this is Cascade Heritage yarn. I love this color. It's so beautiful. I can't remember the name of the yarn, but I'll try to put it in the description box below. But this is the color I want to use for my socks. Now I am deciding on if I want to make my socks like all over with that fuchsia color, or if I want to have like a contrasting color where my socks, like the cuff and the toe part of my socks, are like have a cream color. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. But I think if I go with the Mermaid Avenue socks, I may want to just have the socks all over with my fuchsia color. But then I feel like with the Mermaid Avenue socks, maybe like a yarn that's like has a fading like color design as the way the knit designer had in the photos. I may want to go with that. I'm not sure. But I also feel like with that design, me just having the fuchsia color would also still be beautiful, because you would still be able to see the design. So I'm still deciding on what pattern. I think I'm gonna go with the Mermaid Avenue socks because I love that design. And then maybe the next ones I'll make the Birthday Cake socks, because those are so gorgeous. I love both of those patterns. But of course, as I've been like searching on Instagram different sock patterns, so many like sock patterns from Instagram have been popping up because I've just been searching for different sock patterns. Now, I don't know, maybe I was living under a rock, but the knit designers Arne and Carlos, if you don't know who they are so popular in the knit world, but I did not know that they've had sock yarn. I'm not sure how long the sock yarn has been out, but they do have sock yarn, and I learned about that last week. And of course, the yarn is so stunning. Like, I saw somebody on Instagram, they used the Arne and Carlos sock yarn to make some socks, and you all, it was like the most gorgeous stripy and speckly yarn. The socks were, they were so gorgeous. It was just like a simple sock pattern, but with the yarn, it just made the socks look amazing. But of course, I mean, it's Arne and Carlos yarn, so why would it not be stunning? And you all, like, when I tell you, I have loved watching their videos, like even before I started knitting. So I started out crocheting and I was still watching their videos before I ever jumped into the world of knitting. And I feel like watching their videos definitely made me was like, I want to start knitting, because I just love their channel. So if you've never seen their channel, definitely check out their videos, and I'll put their channel in the link below, because if you've never seen them, you gotta watch their videos, because I just love them. But I'm debating, or not debating rather, I think I want to get some of their sock yarn, and I'll try to put up some pictures of the sock yarn that they have. And if you ever bought any of their sock yarn, let me know in the comments, like, did you like the yarn? How did the sock yarn hold up? Because it's stunning. I'll try to put up the color, the sock yarn color from their collection that I'm thinking about getting, because it's so stunning. So hopefully I can find some of that yarn in that exact color, because it's beautiful. So in my last episode, I had shared how I had purchased some double pointed needles from Knit Pro, but I was waiting for them to come in the mail. Well, they finally came in the mail, and you all, I've been loving these double pointed needles, so I'm going to talk about these. So this is the Knit Pro. It's their Zing collection. This is what the outside of the box looks like, but it's their 6-inch double pointed needle set, and you get 9 needles in this set, and the size ranges from 2mm all the way up to 4mm, and that falls under US size 0 all the way up to 6. So the back of the box says the double pointed needle set is tailored for knitters who prefer metal needles, manufactured with superior grade lightweight aluminum, and each needle provides a smooth glide for all yarns. Totally agree with that, because the needles are very lightweight, and the Zing knitting needles are color coded by size, with size laser printed on the needles for lasting durability, and the points are flawlessly tapered, making them ideal for all yarn projects, ideal for knitting projects such as socks and gloves, and they come in the convenient 15cm and 6-inch length, perfect for smaller projects or intricate detailed work. Totally agree with that. So now I'm going to show y'all what the case looks like. It's pink, and you all, I love the color pink. So of course, when I was looking at it, I was like, the pink case sold me. And look at the cute scallop design, and then there's little sheeps on there. It just makes me smile every time I look at the case. And then when you open the case, it's magnetic. So I love a case that has magnetic on it. But this is what they look like, and look at the colors. Oh, they're so gorgeous. And then this is the larger sizes on the back. My last needle that I'm using, or the largest size needle, I'm using it for one of the sleeves on the sweaters that I'm working on. But let me try to pull out one of the needles so we can look at it closer. So this is, let's see, what size is this one? Oh, this is the US 3. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to try to, so I hope the camera will focus, but right up here they have the size ingrained right in there, and this is what it looks like. Well, actually, these are so lightweight. I love these. These are like my favorite double pointed needles that I have in my collection so far, and I love the color. So if you need a great double pointed needle set, definitely add this to your list. And I got these from Amazon, and I think I spent around $83 for these, so I think that was a pretty good price for the amount of needles that you get. And I love that the case, I mean, it's not super big, so you can just put it in your project bag and take it on the go with you. So I love, because I bought these because of course I'm going to start sock knitting, and this is just going to be amazing for when I start working on my socks. So really great double pointed needles. Like, and if you all know, I am a Chagoo knitting needle girl. Like, that's my favorite brand, will forever probably be my favorite knitting needle brand. But I like that I have some Knit Pro needles in my collection, because I've never bought those before. So I like that my knitting needle like brands are kind of expanding, because I want, even though I love Chagoo and they're like #1 for me, I still want to try other knitting needle brands, because there may be other brands that I love that work amazing as well. So I plan, at this point with buying this double pointed needle set, I'm like, I want to try some more Knit Pro needles. So definitely probably will be getting some more from them. and now on to projects that I've been working on. So my last episode, I talked about how I've been working on the Ivy sweater by Petite Knit, but now I'm going to show y'all because now it looks a little bit more exciting. Well, if I can pull up my sweater. So this is what it's looking like so far. This is the top part. Still have this sleeve to finish, but I did finish this sleeve. This is what it looks like. Love the color. So still got to work on the body of my sweater, but so I finished the sleeve, and then I have one more sleeve to make and then finish the body of the sweater, and I'll be done. This is so gorgeous. I'm using Drops Air yarn for this sweater. I can't remember the name of the color of the yarn, but I'll put it in the description box below. And of course, you all, I've never bought Drops Air yarn. So why, when I've been working on this sweater, there have been so many Instagram reels popping up about how like Drop Air yarn does not hold up. And I've also heard that some people said they've made sweaters with Drop Air yarn and it held up phenomenal for them. So I'm hoping that when I get done with the sweater and start wearing the sweater, that this yarn is going to hold up for me. And that's also why I bought this yarn, because I never used this yarn brand before, so I wanted to just test it out to see how I like it. But the Ivy sweater has been working up amazing. It's such an easy like design. And also I almost forgot about with the yarn, when I put like yarn up to my neck, there's no itchiness that I've experienced yet. So that makes me very excited, because for me, when it comes to me making like garments and stuff, I like the yarn to be comfortable. Like if the yarn is scratchy, I just can't do it. Like for me, when I'm working on designs or sweaters or whatever it is, the yarn has to be something that's comfortable for me, that I can wear it, because I actually do like wear the things that I make. Like I know some people, they'll just make things because they like it and maybe they won't wear it, but for me, I like to wear the things that I make. So for me, the yarn being comfortable and not itchy on my skin is like very, very important to me. So love this sweater. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to get done with it. Like so far it has not taken me long. I can't remember when I started on this sweater, but if I was just working on this one sweater, I probably could have finished the sweater within 3 weeks. But because I'm working on another project, that's not happening. But it doesn't take long at all. It's pretty simple, and this sweater is actually great for when you want to watch a TV show or a movie, because it's just a mindless knit. Oh, and let me show y'all with the on the sleeve, because I like how I did the cuff part. So this is how it looks, and this just adds to how simple this whole like sweater is, because you're not doing any ribbing. You're just doing like a knit-wise bind off, and I like how it looks. So I feel like I need to go ahead and try this sweater on just to make sure things are fitting correctly and it's not too like tight on me. I don't think this sweater will be too tight. I think once it blocks out, it's gonna fit great. But I love how it looks, and I can't wait to finish my Ivy sweater. And of course I love it because it's pink, and like I love this color. Like this is just gonna be such a great sweater just to throw on you know, when you want to go out somewhere, you just want to throw on a sweater. Now I can say with this yarn, I can tell it is a little bit thick, so I won't be able to wear this like in the springtime. This sweater will definitely probably be something that I wear when it gets a lot colder. So I probably, even though I'll finish it, definitely I know I'll finish the sweater in March, I probably won't get to like actually wear this sweater until it gets cold, maybe like November of this year or whenever it gets cold, because where I live in the South, it could be like warm one day and then the next day it's cold. So I may end up getting to wear this sweater sooner than I think, but I love this, and it's just a great design. So if you are a beginner knitter, definitely add that pattern on your list, because it's easy and it's just a great mindless knit sweater. And I talked about this sweater in my last podcast episode, and y'all, it's still not done. It is my Stripe Hype sweater by Veronica Limber. It's okay, but I'm getting super close to getting done. So let me show y'all how far I've gotten with the sweater. So I finished the sleeve, and then I also finished my collar. I love this little like contrasting part, this contrasting color rather, on the collar part. Love this. And then I'm working on my other sleeve. So I'm getting there, y'all. I'm getting close to being done with my second sleeve. And then the last time that I talked about the sweater in my last podcast, I was experiencing some yarn chicken. Like I was afraid I was not going to have enough yarn to finish this sleeve right here. So I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. with the ribbing of my sweater because I had went up a needle size for the ribbing of the sweater, and I ended up using a little bit more yarn than I had expected, so that's why I was playing yarn chicken. So what I decided to do is I took out the ribbing of the sweater. So now I gotta redo the ribbing of the sweater because I bought the correct needle size that was recommended in the pattern, so I have to redo that. And I can tell you, when I was taking out this ribbing, I thought it was gonna be super easy, but I don't know why. When I was taking out the ribbing, I ran into a lot of tangling with the yarn, but it was okay because I was able to get the yarn untangled. I should have filmed it because it was a whole process. Like when I was taking out the ribbing, or yeah, the ribbing for the sweater, there was yarn all over the floor, and I was like kind of panicking inside because I was like, okay, I hope this yarn doesn't tangle like too much to the point where I have to throw it away. But I was able to like I really had to throw away any yarn when I was unribbing or taking out the yarn for the ribbing that I had on the sweater. So that's the next thing. I don't know what to do at this point. I really want to go ahead and finish I want to put my sleeves, the sleeve that I'm working on hold for a little bit to go ahead and work on the ribbing of the sweater because I just want to get this part done, because this is how much yarn that I have left. So this is how much yarn I have left. So I believe this will be enough yarn for me to finish the sleeve that I'm working on and the ribbing. So I feel a lot better. So I'm not like anxious that I'm playing yarn chicken, but I do want to go ahead and start on the ribbing, or at least do half of the ribbing, so I can at least make sure that I have enough yarn to like finish the other sleeve that I'm working on. Because I feel like if I do half of the ribbing on the sweater, I'll be able to gauge like if I actually have enough yarn to finish the sweater. But I do feel a lot better since taking out the ribbing, that I can see like, okay, I've got like 2.5 balls of yarn left, so I think I'll be able to finish the sweater. And so hopefully next time I film my podcast, it will be done. So because this is like the first week in March when I'm filming this, so I'm gonna give myself next week, which will be the second week in March, to really finish this so I can start wearing it, because I don't have much left. Now the only thing is I still have so many ends that I have to weave in, which is crazy because I have already weaved in like so many ends already, but I still have so many more that I have to weave in, which that's fine, because it's kind of relaxing to me when I have to weave in the ends, because I can just watch like a TV show or a movie or whatever and weave in the ends. So I kind of find it a little bit therapeutic. So with the sleeve that I finished, this sleeve, I still have this sleeve right here. I still have all these ends that I need to weave in, and I know you all see some hanging out, and then there's still so many ends on this inside of the sleeve that I have to weave in, and then I've got to weave in the ends on my collar, and then also this sleeve I've got to of course weave in those ends. So even though I'll finish it, I'll still have work that I have to do on the sweater, then I have to block it. But hopefully, like I said, next time that I film my next podcast episode, it'll be done and I can wear it. And I did actually try this sweater on last night and the fit is great. So, oh, that makes me even more excited. Like when I get to work on the sweater and I try it on and like the sweater is fitting amazing even before it's been blocked, I know that makes me excited, because I know like when I block it out, it's gonna be a great fitting garment. So if you are also a beginner and you want to find like a pattern that's easy and that stripy, and if you love stripes, definitely add this pattern on your list. And I think I've shared this before, I just hate that I didn't work on this pattern a lot sooner, because I just had this yarn sitting in my yarn stash forever and I just never started on the pattern until this year. I was like, we're gonna use that yarn that has been sitting in our yarn stash for like over a year and a half, and we're actually gonna make the sweater. And when I started making the sweater, I was just like, why did I not make this sooner? It's such a fun project to work on. Like I really have enjoyed working on this sweater. Like when I've been working on this sweater, there hasn't been a moment where I'm just like dreading it or wanting to get done, like, oh, I can't wait till I get done with this sweater. I've not had one of those moments when working on this pattern. I just love it, and every time I look at the sweater, it just makes me smile because I love the colors that I'm using in the sweater. And I think I forgot to share this, I'm using Dusty Yarn Co. for the yarn that I'm using in the sweater, and I'll put the names that I'm using for the sweater in the description box below, because there's so many different colors that I'm using. But I love this, and this color right here in the sleeve, it's this, I think this color is called Seafoam, if I can remember. It's so stunning. Like, I just love, this is a section that I love so much in the sweater, because it's like a green yarn, but when you look at it, there's like some light spots in the yarn, so it's kind of, it's like a marled color. It's just beautiful. I love it. I love how this whole sleeve just transitions from the brown to the green, and then you've got like this little pink accent on the sleeve. So I can't wait to get done with this sweater. Like I said, I'm giving myself till next week to go ahead and wrap up this project, because so at the end of February, time just flies. So when it was at the end of February, the last week of February, it came back in my mind that I was supposed to be working on Christmas sweaters. I don't know why, you all. I totally forgot that on my things that I want to make this year, I have Christmas sweaters on that list. And I'm like, it's the end of February. I need to be working on the Christmas sweater. So once I get done with my stripe pipe sweater, I plan on starting back working on my, it's the Northen Augustins No. 6 by Anna Sophia Vellum, because that was supposed to be my Christmas sweater for last year, but it didn't get done. So I'm going to start back on that project. But like I said, I had totally forgotten that I was supposed to be making like Christmas sweaters. So I plan on making 2. So my Northen Augustins No. 6, that's going to be one Christmas sweater that I make, and then I have to find another one. Now the thing is, will I be able to make 2 Christmas sweaters? That's the question. I feel like this year I can, because honestly, as I was looking at what I want to make this year, like once I get done with the sweater, the stripe pipe sweater that I'm working on, and the ivy sweater, I have, because I want to make the sorrel sweater, and then I want to make, yeah, so after I get done with the stripe pipe sweater, ivy sweater, because I already made mittens, so I checked that off my list. Once I get done really with these 2 sweaters that I'm working on, I mean, I should be able to, no, I take that back. I have one more sweater pattern that I want to work on. That's the Minga Sweater. That's the pattern that I also bought. But then, I mean, after that, what I want to make for 2026 is pretty open. So I think I should be able to make 2 Christmas sweaters by December. Well, actually, no, they need to be done before December, so by November. So I think I should be able to make those 2 Christmas sweaters by November 2026 this year. I think it's very possible, because I don't, like I said, I don't really have that many more projects that I want to make on my list outside of the 2 sweaters that I'm making currently, stripe pipe sweater and ivy sweater. So I think it's definitely doable. Now we'll see when it gets to November if I actually made those 2 Christmas sweaters. But you know what, I'm gonna have faith in myself and say that by November 2026 I will have 2 Christmas sweaters that I actually get to wear in the month of December. That would be super exciting, because honestly last year I was sad that I did not get to have my Christmas sweater, because I've always wanted to make one for myself, because I have like other Christmas sweaters that I bought like at a store, but I actually wanted to have a Christmas sweater that I made for myself that I could wear during the holiday time. So it would be very exciting if I could at least have just one this year, one Christmas sweater that I made that I can wear. But if I can have 2, that would be even more exciting. So I need to go ahead and finish my stripe pipe sweater, because another thing, I've shared this in other videos, I used to be like a monogamous knitter where I would just like work on one project, and that worked for me for a very long time when it came to how I like to do my knitting. But I started working on multiple projects at the same time, because I was like, okay, some of the projects that I'm working on are not super complicated, so I can like add one more project in. And this is the first time I think I've ever worked on 2 sweaters at the same time. But the thing about the sweaters that I'm currently working on, like, they're not difficult, they're just easy sweaters. So that's why I could work on 2 sweaters at the same time. But if like one of the sweaters I was working on was like super complex, or the pattern is just difficult, I wouldn't want to work on like 2 sweaters at the same time, because that would be too much for me. Now, with the Christmas sweaters like that Northen Augustins No. 6, it's not super difficult. The motif section is not even difficult where the Christmas design is on the sweater. It's not difficult either. You just have to like pay attention exactly how it is with the salty air tee. So I think once I get done with my stripe pipe sweater, because I know I probably will still be working on the ivy sweater that I'm working on. Once I get done with the stripe pipe sweater, I can work on my Northen Augustins No. 6 because the ivy sweater is super easy. And by the time I get done with the stripe pipe sweater, I should be like halfway done with the ivy sweater. So I'm like, I can go ahead and start on my Christmas sweater because I'm like, it's March and I need to get on it because I've gotten better. I used to procrastinate with my knitting, and it used to take me a long time to finish projects, but I've gotten a lot better with that because I'm a lot more like consistent with my knitting. Like I at least try to pick up my knitting projects and work on them every day. I don't care if it's like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I at least try to put in a little bit of time on the projects that I'm working on. And I have noticed since I've been working on my projects like every day, I'm like, oh, I'm getting done with projects a lot sooner than I used to, of course, because you know I'm working on it every day. So yeah, once I get done with the stripe pipe sweater, hopefully I'll start back working on my Christmas sweater so I can at least have one Christmas sweater done by November 2026. And also, before I end the podcast, I have to end it with the encouraging quote of the day. So the encouraging quote says, "Great things never come from comfort zones." I love that quote because look, for me, I'm all about stepping out in my comfort zone, especially when it comes to my knitting, because it's important to step out of your comfort zone so you can learn new things. So I hope that quote encouraged you today. And if you stayed this long to watch the full episode, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can please give me a like or subscribe. But until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.